Hey, this is a large part of my artist influence. I'm around Brick Lane at the moment, East London, looking at street art. I've got a couple of other galleries I can go to as well. I've already seen a lot, and so I've bunged it all together. Actually, here you go, this one up. I never knew this was here. Just up there, that white, that's one of the most famous street artists in the world, called Invader. See if we can get a bit closer. Yeah, that like pretty much sums up what today's about. Just coming up on art that I didn't know existed, and some that I did know and just wanted to see or see again at the Royal piece, which I'll show you later. There you go. Invader, one of the most prolific street artists in the world. Here are some of the art I saw right at the start of the day. First off, we got Stick here with a really subtle racism piece, and he's just showing that how like the area is in Brick Lane, so it's a highly populated Bangladeshi area. Has a lot to do with like the art that's portrayed, and obviously the where a piece is affects what is in the piece, and it can have a lot more power for where it's placed. This is Kid Acne's Art Flag piece, which I think is a diss towards hipsters, especially due to the area. The area is well known for being like these really arty people that probably don't appreciate the art itself, and they're just doing it for the image, which relates to the cigarette, which is obviously because a lot of people smoke just for the image, and it's a diss towards them. This is the Roa piece. Roa was like a large influence in my day. I spent a lot of time looking at his pieces specifically, and this was the first one I came across. Well, I already knew it was here, just off Brick Lane. Very impressive heron. This is a piece by Connor Harrington, who's actually a very, very impressive fine artist, and has kept that style as he moved into street art, and he works very well with layers, which relates a lot to my art, because my art is very layer based, especially with the paint. Throughout the day I also saw a lot of art from unknown artists, or artists that aren't famous, and this is what I like about street art, that these artists are sharing the exact same space as the world famous artists, and there's no divide, whereas there would be in a museum. But here are some more famous faces. That's an Invader piece there on Brick Lane itself. Anthony Lister, another famous street artist. I'm not sure this artist's name, but I love the use of spray can for a pointillist technique. You're seeing less and less technical use of spray paint, and it's good to see. And finally, Sweet Tooth, who just had his first exhibition. This is probably the most famous street art I've seen in one place in my life. That's an old Banks piece up there. I'll try and find the original when I get home because that's something to adjust. Just the face, and world famous. I think it's Vils, and there's a JR piece in the window. This is the JR piece as it used to be when it was just finished. I really love JR. He's an incredible photographer and a very politically motivated photographer. Whether it's as simple as taking people from unprivileged backgrounds and putting them in massively scaled photos in the middle of cities to show how powerful they are. He's also done work on war victims and huge topics. I think this has got to be my favourite JR photo of all time, and up there with my favourite photo of all time. It was pasted on a wall where a riot was going on, and the rioters were being mistreated by police. At first glance, it looks like the man's holding a gun, but when you look closer, you can see it's a camera. It's like a massive, we're watching you, you're not going to get away with this massive slap in the face. And it's a very, very powerful image, especially, like I said, street art is power due to its placement. One of the most exciting things for me about street art has always been the way it uses the city as its canvas, and I think no one like proves this more than Vils in this image. He's literally talked into the city to create the image, and it's just an amazing use of the city. So the first gallery closed. Just my luck. Anyway, I think the internet will have to do with this one. It's the David Gray, at least I wanted to see because of well, I'll go into it later, there's no point in me really going into it now when it's all closed. I'll go into it a bit later. Although it's almost made up for it, the fact there's like, I believe this is a Banksy just outside, and then, okay, well actually a lot more C215 stencil just out on the side. This is an artist called Ben9 who's taken quite a unique twist on the original graffiti, and it's quite nice to see that like fresh look on what can become quite a monotonous skill because of it's quite fixed. All you've got is letters, and that's all you have. So it's quite nice to see a fresh look on it. As I was coming up to the Black Rat Press, I saw a lot of art. This is C215 again. This is Obey, who I'll talk about a bit later as an influence of my project. And finally, but in bad condition, this is a Ludo piece. I'll show you an original and some other copies of his work. Here's the same image but in a different place. And I love the way Ludo has a huge juxtaposition between not only the colours but also the concepts that he's got. His main juxtaposition seems to be between animals and fruits and stuff, things like that, and then an intense twist on the end of them. His work reminds me in some places of things like Dali's Telephone with the lobster, the juxtaposition between the soft inside the lobster, the hard outside the lobster, and then the telephone. Finally, a Banksy piece, probably everyone's favourite graffiti artist. Finally onto the Black Rat Press, where I got in and Roa had his solo show. To get in. This is the Roa piece I was talking about. This was the side of Roa's piece that interested me most, actually. You had a whole section of panels, and you could turn them all, and then you would see the inside of this rat that he'd painted. And then you see something like organs and stuff in certain sections. And I loved it. I love like the way he's taken the inside, and on another side you had like you could see the inside and the outside in the same image. I love the way he's done that. I think it is definitely something that I want to bring into my work. Maybe perhaps not so graphically, but just so you can see like the insides of it. Also in the gallery was this amazing Swoon piece. I love Swoon. She's an incredible artist purely for her technique, but also in her work. But I'll come on to her a bit later again. This is an Insa piece. I'm not a huge fan, but she has got some other work which is quite inspirational, but with little relevance to this project. Next, another Roa piece. I was really clocking them up by this point. And the final gallery I planned for the day, the Pure Evil Gallery. The final gallery I planned for the day is the Pure Evil Gallery. Roa was literally taken out with another piece. What was quite interesting to me, this was a best ever piece from a solo show he had a while ago, and there was another piece in the gallery as well, and they obviously haven't sold, and they were incredible like works of art. So it's just showing how young, even though you think it's a full-fledged art movement, people with that amount of skill are still struggling to sell. It's quite sad. Just outside the gallery there was this, which I thought was quite an interesting stencil. This got to be the best thing I've seen all day. It's a Swoon piece. She is No, she's an incredible artist. And it is a lot different seeing it up close. You can see all the layers she's used. The top layer's not actually another liner cream, it's actually like a painted layer, which gives it a little bit extra, and it's like blue. It's the only reason I really like that it caught my eye. Because I wasn't going to come down the street, it's like the like everything about it just says stay away. But no, this is the best thing. I'm really happy. It's in like amazing condition as well. This is a failed piece, or a few failed pieces, and there was also a lot of smaller artists that were on the same road as this Swoon piece, which again just shows how open it is. Followed by an Invader piece and an Iron piece just around the corner. I think by accident is the new Rower piece, the one I've been talking about, the one that was done like last week sometime. So I'm going to see if I can finish that. Go and see if I can see the finished art. You're never going to guess who's still here. Yeah. I'm still buzzing. It was amazing. I just like that's what I love so much about street art. I found out about who was doing this piece. He's still not finished. People come up to him, just like chatting to him, talking about the work. One girl just asked him to go for a drink with him. He was like, fine. He was completely down to earth. Such a nice guy. Got him to sign my shirt. No, seriously. Perfect end to the day. And incredible artist. So I thought we want to go. All the art I make in this project is supposed to be on the street. For a lot of reasons I hope I described in the project, but the main one is I'm not an artist, I can't get a gallery space, and therefore my art becomes, well, because it's art that wants to, if it's not being viewed by people, it has no power, and but the street gives it like a huge canvas for everyone that walks past. Obviously I'll be very particular about where I place it, and because certain people it will influence more, so I'm going to place it near those people, and yeah, that's how my work is supposed to be presented for this project.